Are you an immigrant entrepreneur who is worried about how to survive any recession? My guest today will teach you how to build a recession-proof business. Reis is a young serial entrepreneur who has worked with one of the most reputable media and marketing companies, VaynerMedia, building its founder, the legendary Gary Vaynerchuk, known as Gary V's personal brand. He co-founded Changing Lanes International, taking it to six figures in just 10 months. Harris is a two-time national award-winning entrepreneur, two-time national best-selling author, keynote speaker, and digital marketer. And as you know, now more than ever, everybody is going digital. So this show is just for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, now will be a good time to hit the subscribe button, the like button, so you too will share our videos, and also ring the notification bell so that you will be notified when we bring you these amazing videos. Of course, we'd love to hear from you. So leave us a comment or question and we will certainly get back to you. So I'm going to bring on Harris. Don't go anywhere. So let's welcome Harris to our show. Harris, so good to have you on Immigrant Magazine Weekly.
Hi, Pamela. Well, it's great to be here and thank you for having me.
Yes, our audience are immigrants. They have businesses, as you know, they make up, and most immigrants own businesses because sometimes it's the only way out, to figure things out. And you have said that immigrants have an unfair advantage. We'll
Absolutely.
get to that. I don't know why you said that. I was like, I have no advantages. What are you talking about?
We definitely.
Right, so we do. But first things first, I know inquiring minds want to know, who are you and when did you come to this country and how has it been?
Yeah, I came over. Well, my parents came over when I was 7 in the year 2000. And well, originally I was born in Germany. The rest of my family is from Bosnia. I was only in Germany for a little while. My dad got offered to play soccer to get out of the war. It's a great way to get out of the country. He's like, hey, come here, play soccer. So my dad got out, and then I happened, and then we went back to Bosnia, lived in Croatia for a little while, and then came to Omaha, Nebraska, out of all places.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've typically heard of New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles, the
I
District of
don't.
Columbia, Nebraska. I have no clue. How was it growing up in Nebraska and how was integration for you?
Growing up here isn't bad. It's a beautiful place, beautiful city, beautiful people. It's a really nice place. And what's great is I'm close to the East Coast and West Coast. I can go north, south with ease. So I've been traveling a lot, and it's just easy because I'm in the center. But growing up and integrating here hasn't been bad. I mean, me and my sister learned English with a dictionary.
Oh my
So
God. Speaking of immigrant challenges, right?
yeah. Well, it's weird because I'm sure a lot of immigrants have the same deal where you have your ESL class, English is your second language, and they teach you English in English. I'm like, this, I went home to my dad and mom. I was like, guys, they're teaching me English in English. I don't speak English. I was like, this,
I've never heard that perspective. So I can't even begin to picture it. Like,
yeah.
they're speaking in German or is it Bosnian language? What's the language?
Yep, Bosnian.
So now your parents are having to start thinking in English and learn in English.
Hmm.
Wow, that must have been daunting. What are
Yeah,
the
my parents.
challenges for your
Yeah,
parents?
my parents. My parents got 3 jobs each without even speaking the language. No idea how to do a resume. No idea how to apply. They're just like a lot of immigrants. We're all hustlers. They just got after it, and
Yeah,
they
hustlers.
got 3 jobs each, so 6 jobs without speaking the language.
I like that word hustler. I have a friend who tells me you're a professional hustler. I said, no problem. Hustler. Yes, we're always hustling. I mean, the strength of the immigrant. So now, coming to where you are today, I am so proud of you. I read your bio and everything, and you are a young serial entrepreneur. Now, when I hear the word serial entrepreneur, I'm just scared because just managing one business is tough enough for me. So, but before we talk about how that came about, I mean, you work with the likes of the renowned Gary V, he's known as Gary
Yeah.
V. How did that happen? Because it's not easy.
No, it's not easy, and it's a long story. But to make a long story short, I basically got around him 4 years ago. I went to a conference called digital marketers conference called Traffic and Conversion Summit, and there's 5,000 incredibly smart people. So how do you stand out with 5,000 incredibly smart people all wanting Gary's attention all at once? I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a hard one. So what I did was I emailed him every morning. I got up every morning at 4 a.m. because I didn't want to automate it. I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted every email to be different. But I wanted to email him when he's working out, because in between sets is when he's probably going to look at his phone. And if I just send that one email at the right time, when he's looking in between sets, I can get his attention, right? If I email him every day at the same time for weeks, he will respond to me, right? Nope. So I kept going. I was like, okay, well, I'm not getting a response. What do I do next? And then he mentioned, a shirt on the Ask Gary V show. He said, it doesn't matter if you go to Harvard or Schmarvard, entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship, business is business. So I went and bought that shirt. I bought it in blue because blue sticks out when you're on stage, because a lot of people will wear black, a lot of people wear white, not a lot of people wear blue. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be blue. And I told him, hey, look out for me front and center at Traffic and Conversion, blue Schmarvard shirt. So I started using that in my emails. Again, no response. And I've gotten him to respond before, but I just kept emailing at the same time every day for weeks with no response. So then the night before the event, I was like, okay, what do I do? A couple weeks prior, bought their VIP package, which all it means is you sit up front with a table so you can take notes. But I was like, okay, well, if I buy VIP, it lets me be closer to Gary. And then I'm no longer in a pool of 5,000 smart people. Now I'm with like 1,000, which is still tough, but better. I was like, okay, what do I do? The night before, I couldn't really sleep. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the event. It's like 4 a.m. Who goes to an event at 4 a.m. unless they're crazy? And I get there, and the guy, one of the guys is like, sir, what are you doing? Because I had a blue Schmarvard shirt. I obviously didn't have my name tag out. I didn't want that out. I had a blue Schmarvard shirt, a backpack, and jeans. I'm like, I don't look like a worker. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, what am I doing? What are you doing? He's like, what do you mean? I'm working. I was like, me too. Why would I be here at 4 a.m. if I'm not working? What's wrong with you? I'm the AV guy. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was like, where's your badge? I was like, it's 4 a.m., man. Just let me get some coffee. I'll find you later and let's discuss. I need to get to work. And then I was like, okay, he bought my story. I was like, okay, now what do I do? Because I'm an AV guy. This production is $1 million. Like, their production is massive. So I don't want to actually touch anything. Because I don't want anything to mess up. I respect digital marketer. I respect Ryan Dice, who owns the company. I don't want to actually mess up anything. But also, I just lied to this man. So I need to keep it going for what, 6 hours till the event starts? So I was like, okay. So I just didn't do anything, but I just like touched cables. Because it looks like I'm doing something, but I'm not doing anything. And I did that for hours. And then it's time for the event. It's like 9 a.m. now, and people are like networking in the hallways, and I'm still there playing with cords. I was like, okay, what do I do? I want to go network, but I don't want to leave, because then, like, when they open the doors, Pamela, people sprint to get to a chair. I was like, I want to go network, but I also don't want to leave. I was like, I could put my backpack on the chair, but then somebody could just take my backpack off, put it down, and take the spot. So I was like, I don't want that to happen. So what do I do? I was like, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to take out all my stuff, put it all on the table, and then like put my jacket on a chair, put something else on the chair, put stuff on the table. No one's going to move 15 different things that's on a table. They're just going to sit in the chair next to it or around it. So I found the best spot, sat there, and then 10 a.m., Ryan Dice comes out, gives his keynote talk. And then Gary talks at like 7 p.m., I think, something like that. So I'm exhausted. I should be, but I just kept going. I had so much energy, but I was a little tired. And then Gary gets on stage and he goes, Schmarbert, I see you. I was like, oh, I have his attention, finally, yes. I was like, now what? I was like, I got to think of something now. Now I have his attention. This is what I've been trying to do for months. What do I do? And like, he's talking, and in my head, I'm like, okay, what do I do? I have the perfect spot. He recognized me. I know he's seen the emails. What do I do? And then I was like, well, after the speaker speaks, they go into like this green room and you can never talk to them. Like, once they get off stage, they're gone. So you always have to be first. So I was like, I'm going to ask for a photo. So as soon as he's like, all right, thank you, everybody, I like almost ran to the stairs, which were right in front of me. And I was like, Gary, can I get a photo? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, cool. And then I was like messing around, like I couldn't get my photo to work. I would just keep pressing every random thing. And I was like, oh, hey, by the way, until like, I don't know why this isn't working, but can I work with you over the summer? I'll just come out to New York. I know your marketing really well. I can help grow your brand. I'll even do it for free. He's like, hey, you've been emailing me nonstop. Just send me an email. I have a 3-hour ride up to LA. I'll connect you with my guy. I was like, sweet, let me get a photo. He connected me to his guy, and then I was in New York City that summer.
And the rest is history.
And
Bravo. Because Gary know that these are the hoops you had to pull to get to him. He's never heard the story before.
I doubt it.
Okay, he's gonna hear it soon.
There's
Then he'll be more.
other stories of me that they've heard though.
No, listen, he'll be more impressed because that was just a lesson that you just gave me right there. How to stand out. Am I wearing the right color? Is red one of those colors?
Yeah.
Stand out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're on the right track now. Lesson one. No, I am so impressed. That story is a masterclass right there.
Thanks.
Persistence, right? Persistence. Now let's talk about the fact that you say immigrants have an unfair advantage. And then we'll talk about some of those tips that you just gave us. What is it that makes us immigrants have an unfair advantage?
We all at the core hustle so hard. All of us will just, we don't have the, and I hate to say it, it's not every American, but a lot of Americans are very privileged to grow up here. They don't know what it's like to have to really hustle. How to, my parents, they had to walk miles in like blizzards to get to the bus to get to work. And they have to work 12, 15-hour days. It's not easy. Where you're from in Cameroon, I'm sure it's a lot of like physical, you have to walk everywhere. It's tough. It's a tough life everywhere else. Not everywhere else, but I mean, it's tough. And here, a lot of people are privileged and they don't understand that mentality. But that mentality is handed down from your grandparents to your parents, from your parents to you. And then when you come here, you have no problem hustling. You have no problem rolling up your sleeve. You have no problem working as hard as you can. You have no problem waking up at 4 a.m. And it's not one immigrant's different than the rest. We're all the same. It doesn't matter if you come from Cameroon, Bosnia. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. We are all hustlers at our core. And we don't have the whole privileged mindset. So we get after it.
That's a very good point that you make. But how does a child that you came here as a child and you have that spirit of entrepreneurship, and you also say that we have an unfair advantage, yet but we struggle a lot. What are we missing as immigrants that's making us not reach that threshold of massive success?
Yeah, I don't think we struggle. I think we're just ingrained in the life we had. Like Cameroon and Bosnia is somewhat similar. We're more third world, where like you have to like actually walk out of your car to open your garage. You have a little button clicker. And so it's a little different lifestyle. And I think we're ingrained in the whole hustle, hustle, hustle. Exact opposite of what I just said. Like we have so much hustle where we think we have to hustle for our money, when really you have to understand how to make money and then make your money work for you. And the hardest thing for entrepreneurs is to work less, be lazy. Try in business to be as lazy as you possibly can. How can I get these 5 things done while being the laziest I possibly can be? And lazy doesn't mean like I don't do the work. It's like, hey, I'm going to give this one to my husband. This one's going to go to a team member. I'm going to do this. I'm going to simplify this task because I really don't have to do these 20 things. I really only have to do these 2. You focus on kind of the bigger picture of everything and be lazy.
Oh my gosh. Some of us just believe, some people, well, some of us just believe that you got to just be working and working and working. I tell you something. My son said to me, Mom, the challenge that I see with your immigrant, especially your African immigrants, is we're so good at working hard, but he talks about the packaging. Tell me some of the things that we could incorporate in our businesses that will make us not have to work so hard and yet succeed. What is missing in us becoming that standout business?
Yeah, so majority of the time, 99.9% of the time, the people that struggle, they don't have the circle of influence that they need. And by circle of influence, I mean you are around people that have done what you want to do. If you're building an app, getting around those people. If you want to get to 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it is, being around those people helps. And sometimes you have to pay to be around people, which is great. You join a mastermind, you go to events, whatever it takes to be around those people, you do that. And then they tell you what to do. Sometimes we don't listen and we want to do it our way. It's crazy the amount of people that even pay me to coach them, but then I tell them what to do and they want to do it their way. And I'm like, well, how does that work? So a lot of people will want to do it their way, where you have to get around someone that's done what you want to do. Once you do that, listen to them exactly to a T, and then just get a team around you.
So now we're going through a recession, and that's pretty challenging. How do you build a recession-proof business? Because that's what you seem to master so well. And we're going through one now, and there's going to be more and more. And most of us are scared.
Yep, most people that don't have a circle of influence are scared. If you have the circle of influence, you have nothing to be scared of. Robert Kiyosaki, I'm sure you've heard of him. He said more wealth is created in a recession than a booming economy. Why is that? Because the money doesn't disappear, it just transfers to the wealthy. And you become wealthy by providing value to the world. You get wealthy by giving great products to the world, giving great customer experiences. So I'm not nervous. Actually, last year has been the best year of my life. 2021 is going to be the best year of my life. 2022 is going to be the best year of my life. Why? I have a circle of influence. I have team members, and we know how to pivot and adjust. And it's all about just adjusting to the marketplace.
Is that the formula you talk about? Because I know you said, I think there's a recession-proof formula. Is that main focus of that formula? Is the circle of influence, or is there more?
No,
Other-
main thing is having a circle of influence.
Really?
Have to have a circle of influence. You will not make it as a business owner without one.
That's true, because if you're master of everything, doing everything by yourself, also that would definitely be an issue.
Yeah, and that's a lie. No one is good at everything.
Now, now you talk about, for example, what it took for you to get to Gary, for example.
Mhm.
You didn't give up. Okay. Is there a point where the hustle is just a hustle and you need to give up? Or what do you need to do to sustain that adrenaline? Or, because at what point do you say, this is enough, I'm just spinning my wheels?
Well, if you get results and you see progress, you'll never stop. For example, let's take it out of the business world. Let's go into like weight loss. And I lost 75 pounds in 12 weeks. As you keep seeing progress, you won't stop, right? If you see progress and you see merchant receipts coming in, you see new customers, you see your bank account growing,
Right.
why would you stop?
That's true. Why would you stop? So let's talk about digital marketing. Does every business need to be digitally running their business right now?
You tell me, what do you think happened with COVID?
That's a good question. But okay, the restaurants, clothing.
Yep.
Now, most people don't know, before COVID, a lot of people were not online.
Yeah. But
So,
I've been telling people they need to be online for the last 10 years.
right, right.
And being online is massive because look at everything that's happening with e-commerce. It's growing like crazy. I think they grew 127% in the last year alone. And
Right.
then digital marketing, I believe it was either last year or the year before that, actually spent more money than traditional advertising, such as billboards, TV ads, print magazine. Digital marketing has actually surpassed that, which is the first year ever.
That is true. That is true. But suppose you have a business and you're now online. What are the platforms that you absolutely must explore? And do you need someone to manage your digital marketing? Because that's another thing.
Yes and no. As a business owner, yes, because as a business owner, you have to keep in mind to be lazy. And if you're a business owner, you're not in the business. You're not clicking the Facebook ads. You're not doing sales calls. You're managing the business, finding who can be a good connection for me. You're networking. You're working on ways to grow the business, and you're thinking at 100,000 foot view. You're not in the weeds clicking the buttons. Now, when you're starting, you're going to have to be in the weeds. You're not just going to have money and have customers overnight. So initially you do, yeah. But to answer your first part of your question, you asked about advertising and where you should go. It's a little tricky right now because of everything going on.
Yeah.
Facebook, I still believe, is a great tool. It's still extremely underpriced for what you get. I mean, I'm getting leads for under $1.
Right.
So I mean, it's still a great platform. YouTube is still great. Google is still great. Snapchat, TikTok, SEO, any of those. And it's not, what one tool will help me. It's about understanding your branding and your positioning and your customer experience. All a business is, how do I get traffic? How do I convert that traffic and making that customer experience great?
And like you said, it's better to then find a circle of influence of people that have done it and
Mhm.
probably find experts who know how to do it. But
Yeah.
what if you don't have that much budget?
You don't have to have a massive budget to start, even if you have. I have my own rules for every platform, but for Facebook, for example, I wouldn't spend less than $30 a day. But Facebook people also see it as, hey, I'm going to run one ad, I'm going to get leads, and hopefully convert those leads. But Facebook is a data machine, right?
Yes.
So the way it really should work is it should feed data from one, campaign to another, and then when they see your offer, they've already been engaging with your brand. You already have that omnipresence. You're already everywhere. By the time they see your offer, they should already know who you are. It's not, hey, I'm going to run an offer ad and see if, I can get clicks to my landing page and convert them to my email. You have to understand how Facebook works and how it's a data machine, and they all work the same.
That is so true. That is so true. Now, tell me about your company, BIH, because all these tips are amazing. And I know that you have it packaged somewhere. So, what is BIH about and what inspired you to create it?
Yeah, so BIH Media came out when after I worked with Gary, or his VaynerMedia. Mine is BIH, and BIH is just the initials of Bosnia.
Okay.
And that's kind of my own personal company. I do consultancies under that brand. Um, but I have many brands. I have a Facebook ad agency, I have a mastermind, I have e-commerce platforms, I have SaaS products. But that's just kind of like the big umbrella, and
Okay.
that's just kind of me in a sense.
So, all your serial entrepreneurship is under that umbrella of BIH?
Mhm.
Oh, I see. And what about Changing Lanes International? Is that under BIH as well? They,
Yep, yep. That actually became best-selling book world.
okay, okay, okay. This is just amazing. So, I'm hoping that we have learned a lot. I have personally learned a lot from you today, and I'm really just hoping that I can go out there and apply some of the things that you said. What's the number one tip for any business, regardless of whether it's immigrant or not?
Yeah, in 2021, are you meaning like how to be more tactical?
More.
I would say for immigrants specifically is think on how can I be as lazy as possible,
Oh my
and
God.
also wording is everything. So people have like to do tasks.
Mhm.
I never have them. I call them to achieve tasks because to do feels like work. I'm not doing anything. I'm achieving things when I work. So I have a to achieve list, and then a big one instead of a to do list is a not to do list. What are things I don't have to do? Because a majority of the things you have on your list, you probably don't have to do. But you've sold yourself like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And a lot of people like being busy, but busy does not mean your business grows. Being busy does not mean anything. Being busy is not good. You should be productive. You should be able to get more done in less time. Being busy isn't cool. You should not have to work 12 hours a day. I love working. We're doing this on Sunday. I enjoy this, but that doesn't mean I should have to do it every minute of every day. I do it when I feel like it, but I can get more done in 4 hours in one day than most people get done in 2 days.
Wow, you're just giving me a license because you're right. Most of us think if we're busy, we're being productive.
No, not
And
the case.
truly, I have that to do list. So it should be a to achieve. What do I need to achieve?
To achieve. And then I always ask myself, what feels good next? Whenever I get one thing done, it's like, what feels good next? And saying those things to yourself, it's a totally different perspective than, oh, I gotta get these emails done. I gotta get this Facebook ad up. Oh, I gotta find a salesperson. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. No, you don't.
Harris, you said something really important right now. I mean, we love what we do. Most of us are passionate about what we do, but sometimes you're right. It's like work. And then you start trying to find that excitement, right?
Yeah. Well, the excitement should be from your customer results. If your customers are getting results, that should feed you enough. I mean, we have results every day. I get emails, I get Facebook messages, Instagram messages daily of like, oh, this helped me, this helped me. Oh, you've done this for me. Those things keep me going. If customer results don't keep you going, yeah, the money's also there. But money, obviously, everyone likes money. But seeing people result, giving through my mastermind, they get to live the life they've always wanted to. That's so fulfilling that no amount of dollar could, give me that feeling. But to see that in people's lives, that's amazing. And that's what keeps me going.
So my goal is going to be trying to be as lazy as possible,
Yeah.
being productive though.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't confuse those. Like you still have to be productive.
Exactly. So I'm so excited talking to you because I've learned so much. It's like I'm getting this energy. I'm just happy that we're gonna share this information out there. So, but before we wrap this up, I'm gonna go on another tangent now. What do you think Americans can learn from us immigrants? I know my son says, "Oh, we don't know how to package," but I'm sure there's other things that we are good at.
Yeah. What I think every American should do is to go to a country that's not as fortunate as America. I think the culture here is very different. Where, for example, if you go to Singapore, and now this is a very big extreme, but if you spit anywhere on the street, they'll throw you in a jail cell underground. And they'll let you out when they feel like letting you out. They might hurt you even, but you know what people aren't doing there? They're not spitting on the street. They're not talking bad about people. They're not causing a ruckus. I think it's just a different lifestyle, and I think everyone should go experience it. And it's not, going to Thailand and sitting on the beaches with monkeys. That's not what I'm after. I'm saying like go to a real country that is actually struggling. You'll see how privileged we really do have it. Because out of what 7 billion people in the world, America has 340 million. I'm just throwing out the numbers, but I know it's close. So that's a very small number compared to the world. And out of all those billions of people, they don't have it as good as we do here. I don't think people understand that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And what do you think? Or let's say, what have you learned from the American culture or your parents even? What have you learned from them?
For my parents, everything. I mean, my parents are
Not
like,
your parents, not your parents, like from your parents as immigrants. What have we learned from from the American culture that's good?
yeah, American. I mean, there's so much opportunity in America, and a lot of people really do want to help other people. In my own network, I can't think of anyone that I've ever reached out to and I was like, hey, can you help me with this thing? And they're like, no. Everyone wants to help everybody, which is amazing. But sometimes we as immigrants, we get too proud and we don't want to ask for help. So
Oh,
that's a problem that we have. But I think Americans are very good about helping each other, making everyone grow. No one's not that selfish here. So that's also good.
you are spot on. You are spot on. Because the immigrant mindset sometimes needs to change because sometimes we hog, right? And we don't want to share. Is it coming from a culture of lack? And so we're hugging and instead of helping each other out.
I think with immigrants, our problem is like we just want to do everything on our own. So then it feels good when we get there. But it doesn't make sense to me. And I was on a sales call with a girl out of Italy last week even. And same issue was just like we want to do it on our own. Where I'm like, why would you want to do it on your own? We've done, for example, Bestselling Book World, my book company, we've published hundreds of books. We know exactly how to do it from A to Z. We can help you write your book in even 30 days and get you to become a national best-selling author in 30 days. But people are like, oh, I want to do it on my own. Okay, go do what I've learned over the past 10 years. Spend the money I've spent, and then come back to me and tell me how easy that was. Or pay the money, you get the results in 30 days, and then you are way ahead of the curve, and then you can just keep moving.
Harris. I don't know. You are so spot on all these things. I can't even. You're so young, right? And you're so wise. It's just amazing. Well, thank you so much for this interview and this conversation. How can our audience find you and enjoy what I've just experienced? This has just been so eye-opening for me. How can they find you? Find your books?
Instagram's probably the best. Yeah, Instagram's probably the best for me. It's just at Harris, Haris underscore Reis,
Okay. And
Reis.
they can find you. Thank you so much, Harris. I am so happy that we had this conversation. I'm trying to think, what did I learn today? I learned so much. Number one, I'm going to try to be lazy. Number two, I'm not going to try to do everything by myself. Number three, um, get help. Change my sphere of influence, right?
There you go.
Did I miss something? I'm trying to recap here as a student. What that
No,
means.
you're doing good. You're exactly right.
Thank you so much. Last words, anything you have to say to our...
Thanks so much for having me on. I really had a good time and hope your audience enjoyed the interview.
Thank you so much, Harry. So come back next time and we'll do part 2. We've come to the end of our show. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I would love to hear what you think about our discussion. So please share your thoughts in our comment section or send me an email to publisher@immigrantmagazine.com. Now be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Anchang and like us on Facebook, The Immigrant Magazine. See you next time on The Immigrant Magazine Weekly.